Fraymakers is an early access indie platform fighter game from the Super Smash Bros. Team that recently released on Steam. Launch day was like watching a car crash, we'll get to that, but I ultimately feel that the game is good in its current state and has the potential to become something amazing. This is Fraymakers, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The most important thing to get right is the gameplay, and in my opinion, this is a big win for this game because it's really fun. The combos feel freeform, and the assists are the perfect balance of important without being essential at every level. You can go for an assist that benefits your game plan in a matchup, an assist that gives your character a new kill combo, or an assist that has the guy from Among Us. The world is your oyster or something. I find it was pretty quick to develop favorites here as well. I am not a Commander video man, I am a Gunman Clive man, and I will die on that hill. I've noticed some stuff that might need some fine tuning, but overall I'm somewhat surprised by how well the assists seem to be balanced, with the exception of a couple of them feeling underpowered in comparison. Additionally to the assist system, Fraymakers has the rest of the game, which I seem to have omitted thus far. Importantly, right now the game has 4 playable characters, and whilst I prefer a small roster, I recognize that, oh honey, that is not a lot of characters. If you don't have someone you enjoy playing right now, then you're gonna have to wait a while, but for what it's worth, this roster covers its bases pretty well. I myself really enjoy 3 of the characters, which is 3 more than I enjoy in Smash Bros. Ultimate. Each character fulfills its own niche, which I'll briefly go over. Commander Video from Bit Trip Runner is this game's rushdown character. If you're a fan of the movement in platform fighters, then he's for you. He has a trail mechanic that he gains when he hits someone and loses when he gets hit. The trail allows for his side B, this move, to be jump cancelled, meaning that you can combo from it, or even wave dash out of it. If this sounds fun to you, it's his entire game plan, so I sure hope it does. Well, Taro is from the game called Downwell, and his whole gimmick is that he has rocket boots with limited ammo that recharge when you land. His jumps each consume 1 ammo, and he has a lot of certain moves that consume ammo as well. He also has this balloon move. Speaking as the opponent here, it can get annoying. Octodad is from Octodad, and he essentially is like a grappler Mar. His down B and up B are super far range grabs, and all of his moves have tipper sweet spots to them. However, he is the slowest character, and the hurt boxes of his moves can make life hard sometimes. He is very fun, but he's easily the worst character. Please make him a little faster, I think he deserves it. Orkian is from Rivals of Aether, and if you played that game, he feels extremely familiar. Speaking as a Rivals Orkian man, yep, it's Orkian. He has a puddle that you can teleport to with up B, and it can also be used to power up his moves. He translates extremely well to Fraymakers, but my god, his grab looks cursed. We currently know that the other 2 planned characters are Ultra Fish Bungeon 3000 from Slap City and the Watcher from Slay the Spire. Sorry, that last one was a mouthful. And we don't really know when they're going to be added, but for the record, I'm excited for the Watcher. We've got 5 playable stages right now, which is about as much as I play in any platform fighter, so no issues there. They also have alternate forms for a more casual angle, which is pretty chill. My main complaint is Stratastar. Please add walls and this curved incline to the actual stage, because at the moment there is no collision and I constantly die. For me, the controls have been great. I've been using a GameCube controller with a Mayflash adapter and I've had no issues. In fact, with the level of depth with which I could customize my controls, it actually controls better than any other platform fighter I've played. It has a wave dash macro. You can use the wave dash out of shield, and ledge dash with 1 button. That feels like cheating, but it's in the game, so I'm gonna use it. This being said, some people haven't been so lucky. Apparently keyboard controls incredibly, but some controller players are having issues. I cannot attest to this, as never me nor my friends have had these issues, but they seem to be fairly widespread. The Fraymakers team is aware of this issue though, and has a form that they're asking the people experiencing controller problems to fill out, so hopefully this becomes a non-issue soon enough. I'll admit, I don't really intend to go in depth on the custom content, as it is quite literally custom. I think it's really funny that it doesn't have to be pixel art. Hello, King DDD. And I think that the possibility of more characters and more stages to have fun with whilst we wait for the official content to come out really helps give it replayability. Some of the stuff that's here right now is great. I mean, we got Mario, and the stages are really cool. I really like this Celeste-inspired stage. It's beautiful and fun to play on. I'm really hopeful for the future of custom content, but I haven't felt the need to add it to my friendlies quite yet. I'm having fun as is. Biggest problem I've ran into, this rollback has some problems. It's fine for friendlies, but I could never use this for tournament play. The majority of my games have run smooth with no issues. However, every now and then I have a game that just freezes for a few seconds, and in a particularly bad connection, it's sometimes unplayable. So if your internet is bad, no, rollback will not be as helpful as it is in other games. The devs are working to iron this out, and the Discord has found a partial fix, but who thinks to do this stuff? I didn't even know I had an NVIDIA control panel. I opened normal ass control panel looking for this stuff. I am not technologically savvy. There's no ifs about it. Launch day was bad. The game released at 10 p.m. Eastern time, which is 3 a.m. my time, and there was no warning that that was going to happen. I pray for the people that thought it would be a midnight release. But what did release is an unfinished product, which is what it's advertised to be. It's early access, alpha build 0.5.0, but let's be fair here. This is absolutely more unfinished than I think it should have been. I don't personally mind it, but it's a pretty bad look to release work in progress sprites on 10% of the move. And it definitely left a sour taste for a lot of people. More importantly though, the game isn't optimized all that well with the performance of the game failing some people who meet the requirements to run it, and some people had an error where they couldn't even open the game. As far as I'm aware, much of this had individual fixes, but the onus shouldn't have been on the player to fix it. Okay, so editing here, they updated the game, they fixed a lot of the performance issues. We're now on 0.5.1 and things are looking up on that end, so oh, cool. Furthermore, the devs had something wrong with their Kickstarter database, so it took some people days to receive their Steam keys that they paid for when they backed the game. We're gonna have to hope for a comeback story here because Fraymakers has left a bad first impression on people. Although it's worth noting that the devs have fully addressed these problems in a Steam news post and held themselves accountable for this stuff. They also went on to talk about I am really excited for the future of this game. I have 15 hours in what we have right now, which is already more than I have in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl for only half the price. We're getting at least 6 more characters, and 4 of them are surprises, and I have confidence that with the concept of an indie platform fighter and the gameplay foundation that Fraymakers has set up for itself, these additions could really help to boost sales, which I ultimately care about because I want this game to succeed. We're also set to over double the assist and stage count of the game, so I think that sets a good foundation of stuff to roll out and for us to be excited for. In terms of who I want to see in the game as a playable fighter though, it's gotta be at least one of these 5. My personal pick is a Spelunky character because this game is dear to my heart, but I admit they have big heads, so I'm happy if they're an assist. I just want to see these fellas. Other characters I'd like to see are Hat Kid, a Hollow Knight character, Madeline from Celeste, and one of the Undertale guys. That'd be cool. I genuinely believe that Fraymakers is on track to become everything it was promised to be, but at the rate we're going, I think that 2 years is an underestimate of how long that will take. Regardless, I'm excited. At the moment, this game's an 8 out of 10 for me with the potential to be much more. I hope I don't eat my words, but I think this game's really gonna be something.
Boom shakalaka!